My wife has a removable face. Samantha told me a surprising thing on our third date. We were sitting on her couch, watching a movie, and I decided to try and kiss her. But she stopped me by putting her hand in front of my face. She said, "There's something important you should know." I got a little nervous, thinking it might be bad news. "What is it?" I asked. She sighed. "I'm not ready for a relationship." "It has nothing to do with you, though." I felt disappointed because I really liked her. "Okay," I said. Then, out of nowhere, she dropped a strange bombshell. "I have a removable face." I was confused. "You have a what now?" I was almost going to laugh, but she looked dead serious. "I have a removable face." I thought she might be using a weird metaphor. "Is that like a saying or something?" "Nope. My face can actually come off." "Look closely." She lifted her chin and pointed to her jawline. "You can see the seam." I leaned in for a closer look, and it was hard to see, but there did seem to be a little line where her face met her throat. I was both amazed and filled with questions. "Don't ask me why or how," Samantha warned. "I can't tell you. If that's going to be a problem, you should go now. I'm only telling you because I like you, and I want us to move forward, but this is something you can't change." "Okay," I said, feeling a bit unsure. "No problem. So what if you have a removable face?" "It looks good." Samantha had another surprising thing to share. She said, "There's something else. Once a day, usually in the evening, I have to take off my face and clean the inside. If I don't, it will rot. This takes about an hour, depending on how my day went. And during this time, you must never look at my real face. Do you understand?" I replied, a bit nervous, "Why, yes. Got it. Don't ask about it. Don't look at your real face." Samantha got up and said, "Now, I'm going to the bathroom to clean my face. You have time to think about what I've told you. If you're here when I'm done, that's great. I would like that. But if you're gone, I'll understand." She walked into her bedroom, and I sat there in surprise as I heard the bathroom door close. I thought about what she said. Maybe it was a joke or some made-up story. Maybe she believed something that wasn't true. But what if it was real? I knew they could change an actor's face with movie makeup, so maybe Samantha wore a removable face every day. Perhaps she had a terrible accident that messed up her skin. I'd never know because she wouldn't tell me, and I wouldn't see it. I thought about what Samantha told me. I imagined a face with just muscles, all raw and rotting. It made me wonder if that's what I was kissing. But then, I thought, weren't we all just muscles and bones under our skin? I walked around the living room, trying to make sense of it. I really liked Samantha. She was smart, funny, and beautiful. But was her beauty real? Did it matter? I paced around, running my hand through my hair, thinking about whether it was okay to worry about something like that. When Samantha came out of the bathroom, I was still there. I looked at her face, and when she smiled, I felt like I was in love. We kept dating, moved in together, and decided to get married. Most of the time, it felt like a regular relationship, just like two young people in love. During the day, I almost forgot about the removable face. It looked pretty natural, and I could only notice something unusual in certain positions or lights. But every night, the same thing happened. Samantha would go into the bathroom for an hour or two to clean the inside of her face. I couldn't stop wondering what was underneath. I wanted to see, but I never barged in on her. Sometimes, I asked her about it. I wanted to know what happened, how they made the removable face look so real, and what her real face looked like. I assured her that I loved her no matter what, and I was just curious. She never showed me or told me the story. She didn't get mad at me, except when I kept bothering her. She just shrugged and said, "You know you can't see it. You know I can't tell you about it." I never really talked about Samantha's removable face with anyone. It's not like she told me to keep it a secret. I just felt like it was her personal thing and not anyone else's business. But there was this one time I did share it with someone. It happened during my bachelor's party in Big Sur. We rented cabins, stayed up late drinking, and did things we probably shouldn't have. When everyone else passed out, I stood on the cliffs with my friend Chris. He's like a brother to me, my best friend since we were kids. We grew up together, visited each other in college, and spent summers together. Even though we lived in different cities after college, we stayed really close. So, there we were on the cliffs, and I decided to tell Chris about Samantha's removable face. At first, he thought I was joking. Then, he had tons of questions, most of which I couldn't answer. "What's underneath?" he asked. "I don't know, man. I really don't." "Doesn't it make you crazy not knowing?" I just shrugged. "There's lots of stuff I don't know. Like how to do calculus or what happens when we die." Chris had some wild ideas about Samantha's removable face. He said, "Dude, she's gonna be your wife, and you don't even know what she looks like. I'd have to take a look, you know? Set up a camera in the bathroom. That's where she does it, right? You can have a peek, and then you'll know." I sighed, feeling the frustration. Yeah, it drives me crazy. I've asked her a million times. But she told me I could never look. Gotta respect that, man, even if I don't like it. That's love. Chris laughed. "You telling me to respect a woman?" Up is down now. Then we started talking about old times as the new day dawned. For years later, Chris was in town for work, planning to spend the weekend at our house. We hadn't talked about Samantha's removable face since that Big Sur conversation, even though we stayed in touch. One Saturday evening, we were chilling in the backyard after having grilled steaks when I got a work text. "God damn it," I groaned. "I have to make a work call." "SRSOY?" Samantha said, raising an artificial eyebrow. "On a Saturday night?" "My biggest client, baby." "Sorry." "It is what it is," said my wife. "I'm going to get cleaned up inside." "Chris, you cool hanging out?" Chris grinned. "I'll be fine. Got my beer, got some weeds to pull in your garden. Your lazy-ass husband won't do it. Those tomatoes are choking to death. It's a tragedy." I rolled my eyes and went into the side yard for my call. About 15 minutes in, I heard screams from inside. Both my best friend and my wife were wailing in terror. I dropped the phone and hurried into the house, rushing down the hall to our bedroom. The master bathroom door was wide open. Samantha screamed, "Don't come in. I don't have my face on. Call an ambulance." He looked. Oh God, he looked. She sounded really scared and horrified. That made me scared and horrified too. I wanted to run into the bathroom, but suddenly, I felt like it would be a mistake. I realized Samantha didn't want me to see her real face, not because she was being vain, but for my safety. Chris stumbled back out of the bathroom, holding a straightened paperclip he used to pick the lock. Now he was stabbing it into his eyes, shouting crazy stuff. It made my stomach turn to see him hurting himself. "Call a freaking ambulance," my wife yelled. "Don't come in here." He looked. I turned and ran back to the side yard, where my phone was in the freshly mowed grass. My client was still on the line, worried, asking what was going on, why there was so much screaming. I hung up on him and called 911. After the paramedics came, Chris had a seizure in the hallway. Samantha was beside him, crying, and her face looked a bit strange because she put it on in a hurry. My world has been really dark this past week. My best friend is in a hospital where they watch him closely because he might hurt himself. He can't see anything and mostly sits without doing much, except when he gets all crazy and talks in a confusing way. The doctors think he might get better, but they don't know the real reason for his condition. I told them Chris ate a lot of weird mushrooms and went crazy. I didn't see a good reason to tell them the truth about what really happened. Who would believe that just seeing my wife's real face could make someone go crazy? If I told the truth, we could be in a lot of trouble, maybe even have to prove it by showing someone Samantha's face. Then the same bad things might happen again, and I didn't want that. I was sure Samantha wouldn't agree to show her real face to anyone, no matter what could happen if she refused. I got a call from the police after what happened. They wanted to check if my story was true. The hospital didn't find any mushroom stuff in Chris' blood, but that might change if they test his hair. I could be in trouble if they do, but that's not my biggest worry. Samantha is going through a tough time. She still cleans the inside of her face, but not as often, and when she puts it back on, it's always a bit crooked now. It's starting to smell a little. I tried telling her it wasn't her fault. He knew, I said. I told him no one could ever see it, but he went into the bathroom anyway. This is not on you, baby. Please, talk to me. Not on me? Just one look at my face makes people crazy? Please. I just need some time alone. As for me, I'm trying my best to stay strong. You know what's strange, though? Even after what happened to Chris, I still wonder what my wife's real face looks like. More than ever, actually.